What most people don't realize is storm surge is actually one of the deadliest parts of a hurricane. Some extremely life-threatening situations going on across that area.
We have had the winds, we have had the heavy rains. I can tell you that not a single inch of my body is not drenched right now.
And on top of the wind and a significant amount of rain that we're seeing in Mount Pleasant right now, we're also continuing to see this inundation of water, that increased potential for tornadic activity or even water spouts. 12 plus inches of rain, and we have the potential to overtake that in just 3 days. What we have is a low pressure trough that will come into play, as well as a high pressure ridge out over the Atlantic. These are going to be the two steering features, and which one wins out is where will help determine that track for Matthew. It's not a hurricane anymore because now it's a post-tropical system.
But still has hurricane force winds.
Yeah, at this point it's basically just lost its tropical properties. It still has hurricane force winds, exactly, Carolyn. But once they get to 95, they're likely going to kind of die out. Not expecting much in the way of activity here across the area. Although if you live close to that 95 corridor, don't be surprised to see a stray sprinkle or two. We've got a lot of sunshine on tap, but don't be fooled. It is going to be a rather chilly day today despite all that sun. If you want to head outside, grab dinner, maybe sit out on the porch, it's going to be a nice night to do that. Yeah, a little more spring-like here for the next couple of days, and we kind of do a little bit of a roller coaster with our temperatures.
And you're still working on the bridge run forecast, huh?
Yeah, go American model go, because that's the one we want.
I came all the way from Klamath Falls, Oregon, and I thought I was going to get away from this weather.
I apologize for that.
Okay, I know it's your fault.
Chrissy Kohler in here now to talk about the weather, and yeah, tomorrow's going to be a nice one, but it's going to get colder as the week progresses.
Yeah, we have some big changes in the forecast, but I prefer to focus on the good news.
Tomorrow.
You know, yeah, exactly. We've got a lot more sunshine on the way for the day tomorrow, and temperatures even a couple degrees warmer than what we had today, which today we topped out at 68 degrees, and that was my 3-degree forecast guarantee there. So that means we get another $100 in the bank from Glass Pro to Charleston Port and Seafarers Society, taking us up to $1,100 so far for the month. My 3-degree guarantee forecast for tomorrow, 73. I think inland we're going to see highs in the low 70s, at the coastline into the upper 60s. Although we'll start out on a chilly note, 46 at 7 a.m. under those clear skies, 54 at 9, 67 at noon, and 71 at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So here's a look at your current temperatures as you're headed to bed. Temperatures are ranging from the mid-40s in Kingstree and Georgetown to the mid-50s along the Charleston County coastline. We're headed for those overnight lows inland in the low to mid 40s. At the coastline, you're waking up to temperatures into the upper 40s, so it's going to be maybe a degree or two cooler than what you even woke up to this morning. West wind at about 0 to 10 miles per hour overnight, and then tomorrow we're looking at a calm wind to start out with, but a southwest wind at about 5 to 15 miles per hour later into the day. Again, those temperatures warm up nicely tomorrow afternoon. 67 Sullivan's Island and Kiowa Island tomorrow. 71 for the afternoon high in Kingstree and in Pawleys Island, 73 in Goose Creek, 74 in Somerville, 71 in Georgetown, and 67 for the afternoon high on Folly Beach. So the big picture shows that we've got a lot of sunshine in the forecast as we head into the day tomorrow, but we're tracking our next cold front. It's out here over the plains, and it's going to move through the area as we head into the day on Thursday, and that's actually going to help to cool us down, as Brendan was just alluding to, as we look in towards the weekend. So here's a look at the 7-day forecast. The next couple of days, not too bad temperature-wise. Even Thursday, we're looking at highs into the upper 60s, but we've got that cold front moving through, and it's going to bring that chance for rain mainly into the morning hours. So Futurecast model shows that line of showers moving through Thursday morning. It clears out by Thursday afternoon, but left in its wake is those cooler temperatures. So your forecast shows highs Friday, Saturday, and Sunday will be into the low to mid 50s, and at the beaches even you're looking at highs in the low to mid 50s as well. Overnight lows will be in the 30s, so it's going to be a much cooler as we look towards the weekend. So this evening actually looking like a pretty nice night if you want to head outside, grab dinner, maybe sit out on the porch. It's going to be a nice night to do that. So let's take a live look right now from our College of Charleston camera looking out towards the Holy City, and you can see we do have a few clouds. Majority of the cloud cover right now is along the coastline. Here's a look at your forecast for the rest of the evening. Coming up here at 7 o'clock, we're at 78 degrees, down to 73 at 9. We're at 64 as you wake up tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. and kick off your Monday. Again, mainly clear skies through the overnight hours. Temperatures right now are in the low 80s across the board. Not a bad night right now. 81 in Pawleys Island, Folly Beach, Monk's Corner. It is 82 currently in Somerville and Georgetown. 83 right now for you in Walterboro. We're headed for overnight lows in the 60s across the board. Even at the coastline, you're going to see overnight lows into the upper 60s. We could see a few upper 50s sprinkled in well inland and north of the lakes. Light and variable winds overnight tonight with mostly clear skies. Mainly sunny for your Monday. Should be a nice day. I think you can leave the umbrellas at home tomorrow. High of 88 in Walterboro, 83 in McClellanville tomorrow afternoon, 85 for you in Kingstree. We're looking at a high of 85 in Mount Pleasant and Monk's Corner, 82 at Edisto Beach and the Isle of Palms for your Monday. As we take a look at the satellite radar picture, it is a quiet night. Again, we do have some cloud cover moving in off the Atlantic at this point in time, but it's nothing that's going to inhibit any of your outdoor plans this evening. That stationary front finally starting to make a little bit of a move here. It's drifted back up to the north, although we do still have some showers offshore. What we're really paying attention to, though, as we head into the middle to later part of the week is Matthew. This is, of course, what everyone's talking about because we still don't know the specific impacts of Matthew on the southeast United States. What we have is a low pressure trough that will come into play as well as a high pressure ridge out over the Atlantic. These are going to be the two steering features, and which one wins out is where will help determine that track for Matthew. So at this point in time, once it gets into the Bahamas past about Wednesday, there's a lot of differentiation in the models at this point in time. Even with the track about 200 miles off the coastline, we could still see tropical storm force winds here in the low country. And that is because the tropical storm force winds even now extend out about 200 miles from the center of Matthew. As it continues to move up to the north, our in-house model does move it a little bit closer to the coastline. We still need to iron out whether or not that's actually going to verify at this point in time. So as you take a look at your 7-day forecast, what I can tell you is that once we get to Thursday on into the early part of the weekend, those are really just placeholders at this point in time. Mostly sunny skies on Monday. What we are going to start to see on Tuesday and Wednesday is the breeze pick up, regardless of how close Matthew tracks. That's because high pressure to our north will sandwich us between Matthew moving up from the south. That tight pressure gradient is what's going to kick up those winds. So expect winds up around 20 miles per hour by the time we get into late Tuesday, and that continues into Wednesday, Thursday. At the very least, we are going to see minor issues along the coastline and some thunderstorms as well as some gusty winds. Our forecast for tomorrow, 85 degrees. Our current total for the month of September is $2,000 to the Charleston area senior citizen. The winds have been sustained, at least at tropical storm force, and we're getting these gusts that are definitely higher than those sustained winds. I'm not sure that I would call this all the way up to hurricane force at this point in time because I'm still able to stand relatively straight up and not necessarily being blown over. So I do still think it's below those tropical storm force wind gusts here in Mount Pleasant. But what we're getting is that combination of the wind and rain moving in right now. And you can hear the upper level winds humming at a good clip right now. So of course the upper level winds move a little bit faster than they do at the surface. At the surface you get some interference from the buildings, from the topography. But it's a pretty impressive situation happening in Mount Pleasant right here. And on top of the wind and a significant amount of rain that we're seeing in Mount Pleasant right now, we're also continuing to see this inundation of water. So the last time I checked in with you guys, the water was about at my ankle level, and now it's risen, I would say, at least 3 to 4 inches up, a little bit further up my boot at this point in time. Not quite to the top of my boots, but it is definitely continuing to rise at this point. We have a combination of that rainfall, but we're also close enough to the Charleston harbor that we're getting that storm surge, that inundation of water above ground level.
Now this is a storm that still packs a lot of punch.
Boy, we're saying from Daytona Beach all the way up to Boston, feeling the effects of this Hurricane Matthew. No longer a hurricane, but still, wow.
Yeah, and it's not a hurricane anymore because now it's a post-tropical system.
But still has hurricane force winds.
Yeah, at this point it's basically just lost its tropical properties. It still has hurricane force winds, exactly, Carolyn. So it's still packing quite a punch. The good news is it's moving further and further away from the North Carolina coast. coast. But as you said, we felt the rain effects all the way up into parts of New England. At this point, we're thinking that it's headed out into the Atlantic and not going to be an issue very much longer for anybody, which is the good news there. And especially for us here, we're going to rebound nicely in the weather department. We've got a lot of dry weather in the forecast, which is fantastic, and a really nice temperature forecast here in the next couple days as well.
Feels like fall.
Yeah, so for those folks who maybe don't have their power back yet, the good news is you're not going to be itching for the AC right now. As you take a look at your forecast for the rest of the evening, 72 at 6 o'clock, 64 at 8. We're at 61 at 10 o'clock and 59 at midnight tonight. We've got a lot of sunshine out there through the rest of the evening and clear skies through the overnight hours tonight. As we take a look at your forecast for tonight, a lot of folks actually going to see temperatures into the 50s, maybe even a couple of upper 40s as you look well inland. 52 for the overnight low in Moncks Corner for you, 51 in Somerville, upper 50s along the coastline. Still a bit on the breezy side though. If you've been outside today, you felt a little bit of that wind, even a couple of gusts from time to time. We're still talking a north wind at about 10 to 15 miles per hour, 15 to 20 miles per hour if you're a little bit closer to the coastline. Overnight low of 49 in Kingstree, 51 in Walterboro, 52 in McClellanville, and 56 for the overnight low in Kiowa Island. That's the temperature that you're going to be waking up to tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, we could even see highs in the upper 60s. And then some folks a little bit further down to the south, making it to right around that 70-degree mark. 70 for the afternoon high, Walterboro, Charleston, and Kiowa Island. 69 currently, Polly's Island, Goose Creek, and Kingstree. Still that north wind at about 10 to 20 miles per hour as we head through the day tomorrow, with a few higher gusts, again, mainly along the coast. 69 for the afternoon high, Somerville, Moncks Corner, and Georgetown, and 70 for the afternoon high on Folly Beach. Here's a look at your tides as we head into the overnight hours and into the day tomorrow. Our next high tide will be at 2:50 tomorrow morning, and again tomorrow afternoon at 3:36 in the afternoon. Looks like those surge waters are really receding very nicely at this point, but still want to pay close attention to those tides. As you take a look at your 7-day forecast, a lot of sunshine there and those nice fall temperatures as well. We continue to see those temperatures inch up a little bit as we head into the middle to later part of the week, but still not bad. We're looking at highs in the 70s across the board, and overnight lows for the majority of areas are going to be in the 50s inland. Once we get into the middle to later part of the week at the coast, you're going to see your overnight lows creep up a little bit back into the low to mid 60s, but still very pleasant. Again, those breezy conditions continue for the next couple days, but those winds should start to die down by the time we get into the day on Wednesday. Good Saturday morning to you. A breaking weather alert day here in the low country. We are continuing to see that rain stream in from the Atlantic, and it's going to continue to move up to the north and to the northwest as we head through the rest of the day. The Tri-Counties area is still getting pounded. We do have a flash flood watch or warning in effect for Charleston, Berkeley, and Dorchester County, parts of Colleton County, but there's talk now that it's going to be extended down into the rest of Colleton County as well as the Beaufort County area here in the next little while as we start to see some of this rain expand. So as we take a wider look here, you can see that rain continuing to stream in off the Atlantic, and it is kind of growing in width here, starting to move a little bit further to the north and especially down to the south. That's really where we're going to start to see that shift, is down to the south here over the next couple of hours. We're still expecting anywhere from an additional 6 to 12 inches of rain possible on top of what we've already gotten up to this point, taking our storm totals anywhere from 8 to 15 inches of rain. This is going to be a very high impact event with the extreme chance for flooding. We are headed towards a high tide at 1:04 this afternoon, so that's going to be a very big issue, as well as coastal flooding. We do have a moderate risk for tornadoes. We'll be here through the day tracking that risk as well, with a chance for some high winds as we head into the afternoon, especially that could down some trees as well as power lines. We'll be tracking it all for you here, and we'll have another update for you in about 30 minutes.